Let me quickly talk to you about 10 huge unsecured business lines of credit requiring less than $10,000 in monthly revenue. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Suited Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you already ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about 10 massive unsecured business lines of credit requiring $10,000 or less in monthly revenue, EIN only possible, minimum FICO 530. It's kind of important to understand because if you are a startup or if you have an established business, sometimes it's kind of hard to reach the $10,000 threshold in monthly revenue, right? And the thing is, a lot of lenders want you to have at least a certain amount of revenue every month to be able to get the line of credit that you need. So we've done research and we found some lenders that are just fantastic. They would allow you to still get a loan or a line of credit from them, even if your business is pulling in less than $10,000 in monthly revenue. You have to understand that a business line of credit works in a specific way. It allows you to borrow money, repay it, and borrow again up to the credit limit, similar to a credit card. Business lines of credit are not all alike. Some are offered by banks, others are offered by non-bank finance companies, what we call here alternative lenders, and some lines of credit are secured, which means they may require collateral, and collateral may take the form of business assets, commercial property, personal property, generally your home, or certificates of deposits. And other lines are unsecured, which means no collateral is required. In today's conversation, I am talking to you strictly about unsecured business lines of credit. It's very important to understand that before you apply for a business line of credit, you want to research the terms, compare offers, and you want to read. Very important. You want to read the fine prints, okay? You want to consider factors as diverse as the credit limits, the interest rate, the repayment period, the annual review and renewal, requirement to be approved, and if you have any special perks or rewards that are attached to the line of credit. Before I get into the actual nitty-gritty, please check out this short video. We have a strict methodology on this show when it comes to categorizing, listing, and reviewing secured and unsecured business lines of credit. Number 10, folks, we have here PNC Bank. Our score, 7.5 over 10. And when it comes to a huge unsecured business line of credit from PNC Bank, they want you to be in business for at least 9 months, minimum in monthly revenue, $8,500, minimum credit score, 600, and the credit line amount oscillates from $20,000 to $100,000. And if you have any question, you can contact PNC Bank at 1-800-762-5684. And the PNC Bank small business line of credit, you can do a lot of stuff with that. No collateral is required. You can access the funds ASAP. And the cool thing here is that the loan application and decisioning process is very fast, okay? They have an expedited process in place. We love that. One thing you need to understand here is that if you want to get a higher amount from PNC Bank, they do have a secured small business line of credit whose amounts oscillates from $100,000 to $3 million. But of course, this is collateralized, so you need to place some collateral here. And this is great because you get peace of mind. You can actually, if you have some business assets you want to pledge, that's fantastic. Number 9, folks, we have here Navy Fed. Our score, 8 over 10. For Navy Fed, the time in business, minimum must be 6 months. Minimum in monthly revenue, $10,000. Minimum credit score required, 560. and the credit line amount goes from $35,000 to $250,000. And with Navy Fed's business line of credit, you can use the money for working capital, operating expenses, cash flow, or a payroll, right? And we love the fact that Navy Fed is a very prestigious institution that helps small businesses, whether you are a startup or established business. And we love the fact that they help you not only in terms of business, but also for your personal finance also. And this line of credit is great for startups, established businesses. It's great to help you bridge cash flow gaps for business growth, unexpected expenses, and other operational purposes. It's very important to understand that a lot of Navy Fed's business lines of credit and business loans are collateralized, but in some cases, especially if you're looking for a smaller amount, let's say 35, 40, 45, 50, they may give you an unsecured business line of credit. It's kind of cool to understand that as a credit union, they want you to have a relationship with them, and the deeper the relationship, in other words, if you have more accounts with them, the better. Number 8, folks, we have U.S. Bank. Our score, 8/10. For U.S. Bank, the conditions are very clear. Time in business, at least 2 years. Minimum in monthly revenue, $10,000. Minimum credit score, 580. The credit line amount will fluctuate from $5,000 to $250,000. And we love the fact that they call it, when it comes to U.S. Bank, they have two types of unsecured business line of credit. They have the cash flow manager. This is a line that allows you to manage cash flow up to $250,000. You can apply online with quick decisions, and they have competitive rates with the option to lock in a fixed rate. And we love the fact that they also have another product, which is their business line of credit. And with this, you can go all the way to $1 million. You can purchase materials, equipment, or inventory. Here, they have an interest-only payment option. The cool thing here is that you can request as much as $1 million, but in some cases, depending on your industry, depending on your macro, your industry's macro, depending on your states, they might ask for some collateral, some collateral, whether partially or completely. Number 7, folks, we have here Chase. Our score, 8.5/10. Here, the time in business required is 12 months minimum, 1 year. Minimum in monthly revenue, $10,000. Minimum credit score, 575. And the credit line amount will go from $10,000 to $500,000. With Chase, it's just if you want to get an unsecured line of credit with a FICO score as low as 575, you need to have what we call an MPR, a multi-product relationship. You need to have a Chase business account, a Chase business checking account, business savings account. In some cases, they might want you to have a Chase business investment account, like an IRA or all that kind of stuff. One thing you need to understand here is that with Chase, the annual fee is automatically waived when you average line utilization of 40% or more. Otherwise, they will charge you a little fee. And you pay interest only on the amount of credit you actually use. You can choose a monthly plan, a monthly payment date that suits your cash flow, and the monthly minimum payment is accrued interest plus 1% of the outstanding balance, or $100, whichever is greater. And at the end of the 5-year revolving term, no further advances are available, and the outstanding principal balance is repaid over 5 years unless renewed. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. I'm still having a fantastic conversation with you today about 10 massive unsecured business line of credit that require less than $10,000 in monthly revenue. Let's move to number 6. We have here Wells Fargo. Our score, 8.5/10. The time in business, 18 months minimum. The minimum in monthly revenue, $10,000. Minimum credit score, 585. The credit line amount will oscillate from $5,000 all the way to $100,000. And what we love with this offer is that the rates are as low as prime plus 1.75%. And this is an unsecured line of credit, so no collateral is required. And you have an automatic enrollment in a free rewards program, and which is something that only Wells Fargo does at the moment. And so the cool thing here is that this line of credit is great for a startup or established businesses. And the cool thing here, we also love the fact that Wells Fargo has a tiered program, if you will. They have several layers in their unsecured business line of credit program. So you have credit lines from $5,000 to $10,000, no annual fee. Credit lines from $10,000 to $25,000, $95 annual fee. And you have credit lines from $25,000 to $50,000, $175 annual fee. This is kind of cool for startups, especially if cash is kind of tight and you are looking for a very flexible business line of credit. This could be a great opportunity for you. Number 5, folks, we have Bank of America. Our score 9/10. Here, the time in business minimum 6 months, minimum in monthly revenue $8,500, minimum credit score 610, and the credit line amount goes from $10,000 all the way to $1 million. And Bank of America offers secured and unsecured business credit lines, and both types may come with an interest rate, let's say an interest rate discount of 0.25%, 0.50%, or 0.75%, depending on your 3 months average combined balances in Bank of America business deposit accounts and or Merrill Edge or Merrill Lynch business investment accounts. And this really sort of harks back to what we have trumpeting on this show for the last few months. You need to have an MPR with the bank you are banking with. You need to have a multi-product relationship. That helps a lot, especially if you have a bad credit or a fair credit. You want to counterbalance this sort of negative criterion with a lot of cash. So if you have a skinny FICO, you better have a lot of cash in the bank account, okay? And what else should we say here? Yeah, so this is really it for Bank of America. Number 4, folks, we have here Toro Capital. Now, Toro Capital is an alternative lender, not a traditional bank, and our score 9/10. Minimum time in business 9 months, minimum monthly revenue $10,000, minimum credit score 525, and the credit line amount will oscillate from $5,000 to $575,000. And we love the fact that with Toro Capital, you get money not only for your existing business, but also for your startup. Okay, so they have this duality that we love a lot. And you have business capital for existing businesses. You can use the cash for anything you need, for inventory, for additional staff, for expansion, you name it. You also have a business capital for startups. And again, for startups, sometimes they will cap the limits to 175. And this is kind of cool because it really depends also on it. They are very flexible. Toro is very flexible when it comes to the industry you're in, the kind of company you have, and the fundamentals of the business itself in terms of financial statements, in terms of business plan, in terms of sales projections. Number 3, folks, we have ZING Funding. Our score 9.5/10. The time in business here 6 months is the minimum. Minimum in monthly revenue $10,000. Minimum credit score 500, and the credit line amount will oscillate from 10,000 to $500,000. And ZING Funding is also an alternative lender. Okay, and what we love with ZING Funding is that you can get credit lines really fast, and they do have some kind of flexibility in their repayment program, so you can repay on a weekly basis or monthly basis. So that's kind of good for some businesses because you have the ability to control liquidity a lot better. But other businesses don't like that because it kind of messes up their liquidity strategy. And so when we think about ZING Funding, we think about flexible financing, delayed interest, ultimate capital access, and they do have a team of financing specialist. Okay, so they have folks who have the breadth and depth of experience when it comes to unsecured business line of credit, and they can help you along the way. Number 2, folks, we have here Biz 2 credit. Our score 9.5 over 10. Here the requirements are pretty simple. Time in business 6 months minimum. The minimum in monthly revenue will oscillate from $5,000 to $25,000. The minimum credit score 575, and the credit line amount $25,000 to $2 million. And we love the fact that with Biz 2 credit, you have a constellation of funding options. You have working capital options. You have unsecured business line of credit. You have unsecured business loans. Okay. And we love the fact that you can get approved within 24 hours. Speed is really of the essence here. And we love the fact that Biz 2 credit will give you the cash you need in as fast a time as possible. And their working capital solutions are designed for small businesses, including startups. And you get the payment flexibility to match your business's needs, right? So they have plans whereby you can pay on a daily basis or bi-weekly basis or even monthly basis. You have a payment plan that works for you. They have also a team of dedicated funding specialists, and you can get approved, as I said before, within 24 hours and get funded within 72 hours of submitting your application. It's kind of important to understand also that the money you get from Biz 2 credit, you can use it for a lot of things. They have no restrictions whatsoever. You can use the cash to grow your business, cover one-time business expenses, hire staff, buy equipment, pay down operational costs, purchase inventory, or expanding your workplace. Number 1, folks, the best of the best in our analysis when it comes to a massive unsecured business line of credit, we have Sutton Funding. Our score 10 over 10. Here the requirements are time in business minimum 6 months. The minimum in monthly revenue required $7,500. The minimum credit score 540, and the credit line amount will fluctuate from $10,000 to $5 million. This is kind of cool. We love Sutton Funding. And with Sutton Funding, you have a constellation of funding options also. You have business loans, financing options, and lines of credit up to $5 million. And we love the fact that you can apply online. They have a fast and simple application process that can be completed, guess what, in just 5 minutes. Then you have a funding decision that you can get in within minutes, and you'll receive your money. You can receive, if you qualify, you can receive the cash within hours after applying. Okay, and what you will need is you will need voided business checks, your bank statements, your balance sheet, your profit and loss statements, and in some cases they want you to have also avoided business checks. Okay, and they can actually help you with the rest, not a problem. All right, folks, this was it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about 10 massive unsecured business lines of credit requiring $10,000 or less in monthly revenue, EIN only possible, minimum FICO 530. Let's just do a quick recap here. Number 1, we have Sutton Funding, 10 over 10. Number 2, we have Biz 2 credit, 9.5 over 10. Number 3, we have ZING Funding, 9.5 over 10. Number 4, we have Toro Capital, 9 over 10. Number 5, we have Bank of America, 9 over 10. Number 6, we have Wells Fargo, 8.5 over 10. Number 7, we have Chase, 8.5 over 10. Number 8, we have US Bank, 8 over 10. Number 9, we have Navy Fed, 8 over 10. And number 10, last but not the least, we have PNC Bank, 7.5 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.